So learning to just focus, forget about your rope, and just focus on your hands and feet, and do what's necessary to keep that horse in position. And then as you dally, this is an important part. As you dally, be able to keep your feet engaged in that horse to where you cue him and he feels you go to the horn, he wants to naturally slow down or move to the left. So as you're doing that, you go ahead and dally, keep your horse moving a little bit, undally, and then keep working that drill right there. I've done that for years with my students, is to get them to dally and undally, dally and undally. And what they're doing is they're having to think about keeping their left hand still, where their left hand's not tempted to move to the left with the right hand as it goes to the horn. But I'm crossing my hands. We say it a lot of different ways. Point your coils at the steer's horns while you're dallying. Just lift them up, ideally just up, and not move your left hand at all up over the horse's neck while you dally. But as you work that drill 4 or 5 times on your sled, well, you can actually think about what you're doing with your feet, what you're doing with your left hand, and what you're doing with your right hand. So you have a nice smooth transition there to where you keep the energy in your horse as you're dallying and undallying. Not too much energy, but just enough that he keeps moving. And then as you are able to ease that dally on, then sometimes you're able to not push too much. Because ideally, the least pushing and pulling on your horse, the better. But when he is wanting to take a cue from that dally, you've got to counteract that by putting energy in your feet and keep you moving forward right there. And that's what helps that horse keep up and stay framed up and not drop his shoulder. So you can see it's so important to do these drills like this to where you can, where it becomes automatic. Everything that we're doing, by the way, is, and you'll hear me say this over and over in my training program, is we're trying to download our subconscious to where we can just automatically go out and make a run and not have to think about it. But there's a time, there's a necessary process that you have to work through in your roping to where we are going to have to isolate, and we're going to have to think about certain drills for certain things. And once you're good at putting the rope on the chute and going out and dallying and undallying a few times, and then dallying and riding a couple jumps, and then rolling out of there and handling that steer nice, well, then it makes it that much more automatic when you come out and actually rope the steer and pull your slack and go to the horn. You've already worked on that drill, you've executed that drill perfectly, so you're riding your horse really good. And that's a way of breaking your run apart and able to do things with more of a spirit of excellence instead of trying to ride and rope and learn to do it all at the same time and make lots of mistakes and then later on have to come back and fix those mistakes. You can start off right at the ground level one and learn to break these apart and isolate certain parts of your motor skills.